a lot of dive potential. The Cataclysm plus Equalizer combo, also very strong there. And we'll see what Darshan is going to want to try to play into this Rumble, who is known as one of Huni's best champions and a strong laner. It's going to be the Aatrox coming through.
Interesting. That Zac pickup I was looking at makes me think that they want to find Vulcan somewhere. Not a lot of teams have been giving Vulcan to Alistar the last few games they have, but he gets the roam off when he's with that Aurelia for Piglet, and then Piglet can stay by himself. They find Vulcan alone all throughout the early game with Zac. With Power of Evil, they can start off really nice and just tearing apart the strategy Clutch wants to create.
Yeah, definitely the case, and Biofrost is going to be trying to match those roams, to your point, playing the Tahm Kench. He's going to have, especially post 6, using the Abyssal Voyage there on Tahm Kench. We'll be trying to match those roams, match the plays that they are trying to pull off. This is going to be an exciting one, though. Both of these teams have been on a bit of a slide and struggling to try to climb their way back up into this playoff picture. Wins like this are so incredibly important when you're playing these teams that should be some of those easier teams in the standings. Yep. You can't afford to drop these games.
If Clutch wins this, they are tied at 5-9 with Clutch or Counterlogic Gaming right now. So it just goes to show where their clump in the standings is, and teams how they're moving up or who's just below them. And you think Clutch is actually right there with CLG. Mm-hmm. Well, let's see what they can do. Counterlogic Gaming with those subs, as we said, also looking to put a mark here on the second half of this spring split. Auto in the marksman position with Moon back in the jungle. We'll see if they fare well today. With a loss against GGS yesterday and Clutch's loss against FlyQuest, both teams looking to end the weekend on a victory here. We're about to be on the rift for Clutch Gaming versus Counterlogic Gaming.
Some pretty interesting stuff already to kind of point out, even just in the rune and summoner choices. You can see that it is actually heal Aurelia. More commonly, I've been seeing in these sort of matchups, you give the Ignite to that melee player, you put the heal on the support, and also it's Grasp Rumble for Huni up in the top lane. So wants that additional tankiness and perhaps the ability to kind of brawl with that Aatrox in the early levels, feeling that since it's a melee versus melee matchup, he can get enough procs there for it to be worth it.
And we have a sideline report with Weldon. See how CLG is coming into this game.
Thanks, guys. Weldon, we saw Moon and Auto come in this weekend. Why were they the pair for these games?
Well, we've been training with them all week, and we just made that decision based a little bit on the champion pools and just how productive training has been on both squads, with all 4 people kind of like swapping around to improve their leadership and their shot calling. And so since we've been training with them all week, we have stuff that we think will work really well into GGS and Clutch.
What do you think they add as a duo to this team?
Definitely Osama's a big talker, and our Auto is a big talker, and so he does a lot more, shot calling from the AD role. And Moon is just a really big planner. He likes to have very planned out games, and he's really good at communicating that.
Well, thank you, and best of luck to you and the team. Back to you guys.
Yeah, very interesting to hear, bringing in some additional voices into the team. Moon perhaps with some of those planned out routes. We can see if that's going to kind of come to fruition here. And Auto, perhaps one of these pre-planned picks that he has been preparing is the Ashe, which we're certainly seeing not very much in the LCS these days. It is someone who he's going to have to position very well on because there's a ton of dive, and that's a low mobility champion, but they do have the Tahm Kench to back him up.
Absolutely. You also have Moon and Auto coming from the Academy team. Now I have Talk Shop for you. I'm a vocal person. I'm going to be able to call out what I'm seeing. It also gives Auto a chance to sit back, and as Ashe, you're kind of a surveyor of the fight. You're not in there blasting people. You're volleying and calling out the shot. So I think it suits him well. It's probably why we see him on it in that Academy League quite a bit. Demonte, obviously eating a few orbs as we start things off and get the lane pushed. No real worse for wear there for either mid laner. It is no Ignite, no, teleport to cleanse, so not real aggression here to get the first kill off.
Yeah, you're pretty much almost always forced to take cleanse against that Lissandra, or just accept that you're going to die at level 6 pretty much. So, going to be able to take that, and that will give Demonte TP advantage. This is not triple TP. There's not a TP coming in the bot lane for either side. So Clutch will have an easier time kind of controlling those side lane waves since they have the additional teleport. And they also very likely are going to be setting themselves up for some sort of a split push plan as you get into later stages of the game with this Aurelia and Rumble and Lissandra anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how they decide to play that out.
Kind of sorting together what CLG has put on the table here. They also have 2 death denials in Zac and Darshan. So as we were saying, they have a chance to get some dives in and get this composition a little more nitty-gritty than
And you called out the hawk shot, and it was actually Auto checking out his own quadrant, checking out that bottom side blue jungle. They saw that Jarvan wasn't stealing away any of those camps from Zach, so Zach is just safe to then finish his clear on top side, go down, and clear up the rest of these camps. You can see all the vision that Clutch has actually put up in there. They actually had all 3 topside camps warded out at a point there, so they're trying to make sure that they don't lose track of where Zach is, that they can match him anywhere he would potentially go. But Moon, I think, is going to be pretty happy if he can just have a full clear without running into Jarvan, without really having any big issues there, despite the fact that Lyra will grab both the scuttles.
As ward lines go, before that Raptor camp cleared, that was a nice ward line.
Yeah.
As ward line, yeah. Like, it feels weird to say that, but I liked it a lot.
I mean, it was really good, right? And these things make a massive difference.
Absolutely.
In how your team can even play out the game, right? It's not even just about the soul laners knowing Zach is there to avoid them. It's about this bottom lane, being able to kind of try to play more aggressively, knowing where the Zach is too, and it really does affect how everyone else can play on the map.
CS call, 30-20 on the top side between Huni's Rumble and Darshan's Aatrox, as we see Huni obviously just flame spitting everything into the turret, so Darshan has to farm under that pressure. So he's standing toe-to-toe under the turret. Damonte gets hit up, but there's no mana for Power of Evil. You just got to be careful of all the caster minions that are firing off at him as Moon coming around the corner.
And it's also worth noting, this is after Damonte's TP, and he could be in some trouble.
Ooh, the sidestep. With the Frosty Feet, he stays cool on that one, and Moon's going to be seen. A little bit of information for Lyra to work with as they go hard on the bot side. Biofrost trying to get himself to safety. Great health is there, so they can obviously turn this one around for a moment. Both junglers are just on the edge of the fight. Moon's going to be starting to rear back that elastic slingshot, and Lyra is waiting for that exact thing. Biofrost low. They get to Defiant. Oh, no, he's not going to get the Frost Duet extra hit there. And now it's back onto Auto. He's going down as this extended fight is going coast to coast from one end of the lane to the other.
So well played there by Piglet and Vulcan, finding the 2v2 plays that they can make. The junglers get involved, but Clutch was winning that 2v2 so heavily, and they waited out the gray health, actually, dashing back. They get out the heal, they get out the gray health, they hold on to their summoners until after that has expired, and they're able to go back in and get that kill. It is Lyra that picks it up, but certainly going to be feeling really good about their position now.
See this again in the extended early fight.
So this is after they've already forced out heal from the Ashe, as well as the great health from Biofrost. So Biofrost does have to get out of there. And you're thinking this may be able to get turned around, but Vulcan still has the combo, still has the Ignite, knocking Auto back into certain death as Lyra arrives.
I feel like Biofrost should just turn around, licked him, and devoured him. Maybe that was down from saving. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, probably did grab it up.
The cooldowns.
It's such a long cooldown, right? 28 seconds at rank 1 in the early game. So
you're right.
Very rarely up, and not sure they would even have the damage even if he did devour him. So either way, very well played here from Clutch. We have seen CLG get a bit of an advantage in the mid lane with those summoners down. We'll see if they can actually get back and try to punish Damonte, but now with this early Sheen buy from Piglet, that is even more all-in potential. And these guys are going to have to play really safe. You're no exhaust, no flash on the Tahm Kench, no heal from the Ashe to help him out, so they could even just target the support and try to train him down.
You really want to use that Ashe for utility in the bot lane right now, not for Clutch's utility. I don't want to be picking up gold over and over, so CLG has to put a few more wards down there, keep it safe. They expect Lyra to have a few more attempts at that lane. Blue buff transfer always feels nice to not have a jungler that needs that resource, so Power of Evil is going to be able to pick that one up and start shredding down the mid lane minions here as he's falling behind. Just a little. He'll be able to actually pick this up and be on par.
Yep, exactly. Going to be pretty much dead even here, so feeling pretty good in that regard, and maybe actually going towards a tier. I mean, he is sitting on double Fairy Charm, double Dark Seal, and the Corrupting. This is about as much kind of laning power as you can get. There's so much mana in the kit with that because you're getting flat mana on both of the Dark Seals. You're getting the mana regen as well as the increased healing from that for your Corrupting Potion, and then double Fairy Charm plus a blue buff. So he should really be able to spam it out non-stop, and very likely trying to fight really heavily for lane priority, but it is Clutch making the invade. 3-man on that top side. We'll see if CLG wants to fight.
This topside vision has given Huni such an easy time to farm, such an easy time to keep Darshan pushed up the turret. And again, now they're investing pink wards into that territory with more of their trinkets, and it's not going to stop. They have full vision on Moon constantly.
Yeah, I mean, these wards, as you're talking about, are giving them a lot of freedom, right? There are these multiple wards, and again, Zach is, actually being spotted out. You can see he's clearing out a ward here, but there's another, over by him on the other side, and they're not really going to be able to actually clear all of those very safely. So this is allowing Huni to push up. This is allowing them to make those collapses and try to take away Red Buffs, try to attack the Zax's resources, who they want to be able to hold down. It has resulted in an experience advantage for Lyra, but it's not monumental just yet.
Vulcan going in, looking to get a quick headbutt and then lock up onto Auto as they fire back with Rangers.
And that's now no flash for the Ashe, so that is very, very dangerous for him. They can wait till their next combo is available. You have Flash, Ignite, you have level 6 on Aurelia, and if they misplay this at all, if they use their Devour at a poor time, that can easily be a dive onto the Ashe.
Good pink ward vision across the map. That happened because Vulcan was able to walk right through a brush that CLG actually has warded, but denied because of that pink. So losing little bits in each lane is really giving Clutch a mid-game that they love. See if Huni can get participating in any of the fights. If they do have them, always like to see his rumble at work. Moon picking up more of that Raptor Camp 57 to Lyra's 60. Both junglers providing a little bit of assistance in each lane. Lyra, however, coming up with that advantage as they went towards the bot side and took down Auto.
Trying to set up potentially to go for that again. Again, Ashe is without flash, but Biofrost is going to try to just hold on to the Devour to make sure that they're not able to force that out without committing their ultimate, without committing those all-important spells. We'll see if they're going to be able to, and stopwatches will be coming online here very shortly, which is going to give additional kind of power and safety to some of these players. Demonte, with that early stopwatch on Lissandra, certainly the ability to dive deep and try to force a play. And Biofrost is going to have one here as well.
Oh, I'm sure they love the fact that Vulcan just went full in on that. Moon won't go in just yet. Maybe they feel that Lyra's a bit too close, and that was their attempt of a fight. CLG is going to hold true for this one. Power of Evil heads back to lane, and no fight will come, or I should say dive of that aggression. Auto can now push up a little bit to get the shots onto Piglet. I'm waiting for him to go hard on this. We're still waiting for that level 6 to activate here for Clutch's side. They're going to hold off for now. Very patient play. More patient than I would like.
Yeah, very patient indeed. They weren't sure exactly where the Jarvan was, so as you say, don't want to fully commit to it, not knowing if he'll be behind them, and they weren't able to spot him out with the Hawk shot. So they knew he wasn't down there at that time. We'll see if he wants to make his way down now, as Biofrost has based, but it will be Clutch resetting on the map as well, and it's Biofrost looking like he's heading towards mid. He does have the Abyssal Voyage if they can actually find a potential play here. I wouldn't mind seeing Clutch go for something like an early Rift, though, since both of your soul lanes are kind of pushing in, and it feels like they do have priority right now. It's CLG just trying to get vision back on this bottom side.
Oh. So claw from Demonte as he gets himself into some scary territory.
Yeah.
And here's the roams now, where Vulcan starts to leave Piglet. They get him down, and now start to get the Lyra Vulcan roam going on, and we'll see if this is where they can get the Zac into play and Moon to the initiations.
I mean, as funny as it is, one of the best ways to actually enable a potential kill on Auto may be roaming for Vulcan, because if Tahm Kench matches the roam, Ashe cannot match up 1v1 against that. So you see, he's going to have to come mid.
One to the front line, one to the back line. Vulcan and Demonte are going to be there together. And it does look like Moon's going to come out of this situation very happy. A fight between Darshan and Huni as well, as Darshan throws on the World Ender. It looks like everybody else is going to get out of this fight quite safely. The harpoon hits, but Huni will not continue as the equalizer is down. A flash in the end there as things are touch and go here under Rift Herald.
And meanwhile in the bot lane, it's just Piglet shoving it up with Aurelia. Going to get a third turret plate here. Has the Sheen, so able to actually get a lot of bonus damage onto that turret, picking up a lot of gold. It is the Abyssal Voyage coming in, but he should be able to walk it out. And that was really the edge from, so Vulcan roams, Biofrost then must match.
Yeah.
And now Auto cannot even show up bot lane without a flash because he'll just get dove by Piglet. He will kill you 1v1 every time there on the Aurelia. So certainly getting some nice advantages there, and they still end up coming across with this Rift Herald, and it's just so much vision over here on the map. You can see this whole area is just polluted by wards. Absolutely, this whole circle here, absolutely covered with vision. You know, there's no way in really for CLG. They have no eyes on anything. You even try to approach that area to get vision in the pit, and you can get jumped on.
But Isaac, that felt like the greatest initiation. We got him on the roam. We got the Zac initiation. And as soon as Lyra got popped up, you see the backline get hit by Vulcan. Unfortunate timing, both teams on the same page, just somebody had better writing in it.
Yeah, and one team had more kind of solo lane priority, right?
Yeah.
It has been the Rumble keeping Darshan under his turret the whole game, and you can see Darshan just taking too much damage. He's going to grab this Negatron here, and perhaps building that into a stone plate or something later on. But you know, because he did not go for something a bit more defensive early on, he's going to kind of get punished.
8 or 9 wards in that circle you just hit. It's
a
Power
lot.
of Evil and the team have been able to get one over towards the blue buff, so they have an idea of when timing might happen for Clutch. They need to get something of an idea of where their next move is. Here, obviously, staring down the eyes of their enemy in bot lane. Piglet and Vulcan going to push on this one, and Lyra on that pink ward can keep himself safe for the side initiation.
Yeah, you can see both mid laners roaming down. Zac deciding if he wants to go in here, and he's going to go in.
Holding one, make a kiss. Piglet's gonna get out of that one. It hits Vulcan actually, and they're gonna be able to get to safety quickly on that. I think he was holding half of it to see if they reacted. When Piglet didn't, they said, we want this. Now they have vision on Moon, and Clutch Gaming can do a little bit of their own dance to see what they can get out of CLG.
They do at least get the flash out of Piglet there, so not too bad by any means, but it does cost them a couple ultimates and may start this dragon now for Clutch, who, knowing with the ultimates down, they should have more combat power immediately. Will be another dragon, rather the first dragon of the game, going their way.
Make them fast. Gotta go quick. Will help Lyra get around the map. A little more of these initiations as well. Get ward clearing going on now. Turret plate's going down. Clutch picking up a whole heck of a lot of gold on that one. We're at 23,500, 21.3 as they are looking good and ready to move to the next lane.
I would have really liked to see Lyra drop the Rift, though, before turret plates went down, because he could have gotten, you know, an additional couple turret plates, which is more guaranteed gold. Yes, he still can kill off a turret, but you're missing out on, you know, generally you get 2 turret plates guaranteed with the Shellys. That's 320 gold. That's like a free kill that you kind of missed out on just by delaying the usage of it. And you know, to be fair, he obviously didn't feel comfortable dropping it with Zac around and perhaps all these interrupts, but I do think that they could have set up a situation in which he would have been able to get that down and get some bonus gold for the team.
Pings towards the mid lane. It looks like they're going to bring Lyra up to do a little bit of aggression. Low on mana, though, so him showing may activate Moon and the rest of the team to go in. Hooney's just on the side. They think they can get this pick off quick, maybe. Gonna get the equalizer down. This is actually full lane pressure across the board. Yeah, Rift Herald ultimate, gonna be worth it is what they're saying. And they are indeed right. Mid goes down, the map is open for Clutch.
Yeah, and it's honestly just a nice roam from Hooney. You're dropping the equalizer, you're probably not gonna ever get the kill there, but it's forcing Power of Evil to respect a potential dive and back off, which then allows the Rift Herald drop from Lyra to get them that first turret. And it's now 2 turrets, 2-0 for Clutch. They have a nice early game advantage here. Can start seeing them move around the map and potentially try to knock down the last outer for CLG as well, and even extend that gold lead further.
That's more of the Hooney I like to see, where he's saying, now I'm a little bit more Hooney for the team. If you just go down mid, drop your equalizer, head back towards top, perfect. TPing out of lane to lose minions was not working. Still has to be a powerhouse. He hasn't gotten kills this game, but his impact has been felt on the map.
And that's one of those things you're talking about, where sometimes you have to kind of be measured, and you feel like, okay, I want to play for the team, I'll just TP bot, I'll help them out. But if you put yourself too far behind as a result of that, it's not actually a net positive play for your squad. So you certainly have to be wary of that push and pull. Be greedy when that is what benefits the team most.
Piglet pushing up, but he knows he has that safety. Ooh, looking to play it goal side. Arrow just misses, actually pops Piglet up. He might have walked back into it. A lot of damage going down as he dashes back into safety. Ultimate coming in from Power of Evil. Is it going to be enough as Moon gets himself in? Power of Evil gets one last orb down to get the kill for himself as Vulcan makes it out ult on. But CLG finally get an attack to work. They're going to push down bot hard. What is Clutch doing now?
Yeah, not a lot. I feel like Demonte should have just kept pushing mid. There's 4 bot, and he's just taking Raptors, it looks like. Instead of just perhaps getting some damage up on the tier 2, but Darshan, this ultimate's going to expire, and they can get this dive down. Lyra should wait for it. Oh!
Unlucky.
The perfect timing there from Lyra. Right as the ultimate expires, Darshan just gets dunked, and they should be able to knock down this turret hero as well. So they do trade the turret back, but it is a kill for CLG, and a good aggressive play. You want to see them being proactive with these ultimates. So despite the fact that it was a pretty costly play, 4 ultimates, some summoners involved, all those members down on the bottom side, they do at least get something.
All right. There's the Triforce Spike, like Kobe said. One item on these champions that are in that usual marksman position. So Piglet now is quite scary, the side of CLG. We'll see this engage down towards the bot side. The arrow just missing.
Yeah, not quite able to hit. That was very, very close, though. Maybe could have waited a split second to see if Moon hits his knockup, then try to go for it. But the nice Scatter the Weak from Power of Evil, full ultimate, finishes him off with the Q, and Vulcan barely able to get out of there with the ult of his own. But a good proactive play from CLG down on the bottom side of the map. They are still down a few thousand gold, but they have a strong composition, which is going to be tough to team fight into in the later stages when this Ashe is kind of being kept safe by the Tahm Kench. But for now, it's Clutch that runs the show. Not only do they have the gold lead, but as you pointed out, Triforce for Aurelia, and you will take that Aurelia with Triforce 10 times out of 10 against a marksman who's also on one item. So you really got to be very, very careful about how you navigate this situation as CLG, because if you get caught out by any of these individual members who are all on their one item power spike or more, you are going to go down quick.
Gotta keep continuing to look for Clutch in the warding. Make sure they're doing a little bit more. We know they're a team that loves to fight, but they let a few of the smaller things and fundamentals go to the wayside, and that's how they get bit in the backside as they go for these this aggression. Mid lane, seeing a little bit of that flavor right now as the arrow comes through. Vulcan's gonna
nicely done.
Yeah, he pops up Moon before he hits the ground.
That was actually so sick from Vulcan, so quick on ulting out of the Ashe arrow stun that he's able to then save himself and knock Zach out of the slingshot, avoiding that stun as well. So that was honestly so well played by Vulcan, who really has impressed me, specifically on the Alistar. Some of the mechanical plays that he has pulled off on this champion have just been sick.
But teams try to take it away. He knows what he's doing. The early roam and the pressure that he can create along with Lyra has been fantastic. And now 20 minutes into the game, big objectives up on the map in Baron. And CLG's pushed back for now. I don't think we're going to get any of that Baron fight just yet, but the vision will come up soon. And man, would it be tough to fight Clutch Gaming at that right now.
Yeah, you got to be really scared of that. And the question for Clutch is, how do you set up to close out this game? Do you go into 1-3-1 immediately? Do you try to vision bait around a Baron and then hard engage? You know, they have a number of different options. For now, it looks like they are setting up for a 1-3-1. You do see Aurelia going topside. Rumble's going to go down to the bot. They're going to try to get all of these lanes, pushing in the right direction. And that will be their setup. That is going to be how they're trying to establish this pressure. And now, as you can see, look at this mini-map. You shove up the mid lane. You shove up the top lane, and then you can go from there over to the Baron pit and try to establish vision in that area. You have that pressure. CLG is then forced to respond to those minions, and that allows you to then have safe access to clearing out the wards, knowing you're not being engaged on, because you can see them clearing your...
Yep, much easier to thread back and forth through their jungle instead of the river. Such a short amount of time to make it happen. 4K gold lead for Clutch here, as they start to hone in on the possible win. Huni getting himself a Void Staff next, as he had to put some Ninja Tabis in there for Darshan's damage. But he says, I'm still the guy that does, 492 DPM for top laners. That's insane.
Yep, and the equalizer going to be dropped there for Huni. Does push Power of Evil out, but not really a lot done to him. He's able to kind of retreat there pretty easily, so just kind of using it for pressure, right? This has been a fairly slow-paced game. You can see what Clutch is trying to do. They are invading this side of the jungle, establishing the vision control. This is all really their area right now, and it's going to be CLG who has to try to step in and fight for that, but you risk getting engaged on.
Power of Evil, cleanse right away. He's still slowed. He's in the fight. Tries to get help from Biofrost. Throws down the Zhonya's. Power of Evil still going to have to come out of that Devour, and he goes down. Lyra's trying to be safe on the outside of the fight. Biofrost has the gray health in. Auto just firing in the volleys to keep Clutch at bay. And we saw the bot lane fight not going in Darshan's way either, as Huni still pushing up.
Yeah, just really good stuff there from Clutch. They take full vision control, and
Darshan
getting roasted.
Charge just a little bit on the outside. Darshan's gonna have to back up from that. And Huni, he's feeling good. This is a wheelhouse champion. He knows exactly what's going on, exactly how far he can push himself at any itemization on that run.
Yeah, he definitely does. And if you're looking from CLG's point of view, it's these three members that you're trying to take down. 3 bounties to grab up for yourself. 1,600 gold off of those 3 kills. If you can get a successful team fight, you're saying, all right, we can pick up those bounties. We can close that gold lead. very quickly, but they can't afford these sorts of mistakes where they knew they had no vision in that side of the jungle, and Power of Evil was trying to clear that wave very far up. So you have to get eyes on where these members are, either through using a concerted effort to clear into that jungle and get some vision back, using a hawk shot from Otto to make sure that you're safe to actually step up past that Raptor pit. They didn't do either, and as a result, they do get punished, but Clutch not taking anything too much from it. No turrets went down, no Baron went down.
Yeah.
And this has given them a brief respite where they can actually retain some vision in that area. You can see there's some pink wards out now in that top quadrant, and they're trying to fight heavily for it.
Clutch feel very good in being able to put security around their vision right now. And for Otto, the hawk shot is useful, but now it's kind of a diminishing effect. You use it, you know they were there, but there's going to be another 20 seconds before they're on your side of the map and making something happen. So it's almost like that's out of the game plan for them. It really just needs to happen with Power of Evil on a catch. Moon being there, it's going to have to be a shock and off play, and I feel like Clutch is ready for that.
Yeah, they definitely are. That's the kind of play they want, right? They want to opt into these crazy
Bring it on.
fights, and here they go.
They're going to go one themselves. Biofrost gets knocked out and chilled up all alone. That's going to be the mid turret going down as well. Darshan walks on by and make sure they don't take any more out of the yard. And it looks like Power of Evil towards the top side as they're trying to get the push. Even when Power of Evil, or sorry, CLG and the rest of the team are trying to get these lanes out, Clutch is finding that as an opportunity to engage.
Exactly, and that was really well done. They push out both the side lanes, then CLG has to respond to those. CLG doesn't want to walk past the river because they know they were going to lose these 1v1s. They're going to lose these individual battles. That allows all of the Clutch members to just collapse on that mid lane, to dive, not only killing off Biofrost, but critically, that's the flash down for Autumn. That means he is much more vulnerable in the ensuing fights. The Infernal is coming up. That's another big window of opportunity for Clutch, and I think CLG knows it. They probably aren't even going to try to contest this one.
The Assorted Dragons, now Infernal going on the Ocean and the Cloud that Clutch is working with. A great game for them, and now it's to keep that up, keep that momentum up. Do not let the pace fall down at all to where anywhere CLG, or for that matter, any team could get back into it.
Yep, and while they are going to give up that Infernal, you could see Otto shot the Hawk shot to see that the Dragon was happening, and then they took that time to get in and get some vision, but it is Clutch going in. Here comes Piglet.
Malkin just one-manning the 3-start here on the initiation. He's going to go down really fast. They're trying to get themselves onto Power of Evil and Darshan. Power of Evil's on the back line, keeping himself safe. World Ender goes down. Piglet slowing the entirety of Counter Logic Gaming, and here comes Clutch as the cavalry. Darshan coming up from World Ender. The burn is on, and he's going to go down. Otto's on the back line trying to spit in the arrows, but it's not going to be enough. Power of Evil gets jumped on. He's in the Cataclysm. He's cooked up, and the kills coming in from Huni is a triple.
Yeah, they're just going to get an absolute decimating fight here. They get the ace, and they can go straight over to Baron. Lyra, Huni, and Demonte will remain standing. And that did not look like a good start to the fight for Clutch as Vulcan went in so early, but they're able to collapse. They're able to capitalize on some really big plays there from the rest of the Clutch Gaming squad. They're going to get the Baron, and they're going to be massively ahead of CLG. This is closing in on an insurmountable lead.
I think these are the games we begin to remember of Lyra and Huni, or Lyra doing plays and Huni making plays, but now together, 4-0-2 for Huni, 3-0-6 for Lyra, 100% participation in everything around the map, and here it is again.
And they just look like a different team when they are all enabled on these kind of solo picks. They can make plays for themselves. Vulcan went in very, very early here, and good job by Moon to actually kind of peel off the Aurelia. Vulcan will go down, but they say, we can actually still fight this. And then you'll see all of CLG coming forward into this small corridor there. They get wrapped up, all disarmed by the Aurelia ultimate into the stun on Otto. He has to get devoured out and then track Huni. As Otto is out of the devour, Huni just drops the equalizer onto the Ashe here, roasting him up, knowing his flash is down from the earlier play on the mid lane. Getting the triple kill there, turning around, and they can get the ace. So CLG really getting overeager in that corridor. And these are the kind of plays that you could not turn around a fight like that on a marksman necessarily for Piglet, right? You don't necessarily have the individual agency to pull that sort of thing off, and I think it just works better for their style. All these guys are seeing their own plays and going for them, and they're on champions that allow them to do so. They're looking great.
Yeah, their moment of reposition is actually the moment they still want to be fighting. No repositioning for Clutch. They're in the right spot at the right time, and they're all behind each other when it happens. 28 minutes on the clock. They drop turret, they drop tier 2 on the top side as well as bot, and they are just making quick work of Counterlogic Gaming structures. Waiting in the shadows now. CLG can only place the pink wards inside and just outside the wall of their base. As Moon goes in for a few futile attempts at the engage, he knows he'll stay alive, but they can only do so much to pressure Clutch back.
Yeah, I mean, they are just being pushed in on all sides. You can see all these waves shoved all the way up here. Mid lane, bot lane, top lane, all pushed in. They're being pressed into their base, and they have no vision.
Moon once again gets knocked back, should be able to walk out of this one. Frost, Darshan, Auto cannot make it happen. He abducts himself into the base along with the members of Clutch and goes down to the hands of Piglet. And now they just dance left and right, waiting for the next member of CLG to step too far out as the inhibitor turrets are falling right in front of their eyes.
Vulcan is just making this Zac pick look worthless. He is rejecting every big engage coming through from Moon. The base has been cracked, and CLG looking like they're in shambles at this point. No jungler, it's a 5v4. You're losing your second inhibitor, and they don't really have any chance of fighting. They at least went for it at the inhibitor and tried, but much more than able to handle it.
Piglet is just slicing through any of these structures right now. Not even a Mountain Drake to have as well under the belt, and they will back for another buy. As we said before, 4-0-3, 3-0-6, and 2-0-5 across Huni, Lyra, and Demonte. Clutch needed to activate all across the map. This might be hard to do for them every game, but they're definitely seeing what can happen when it does and how they can get to this point. This game is big for them.
And I think people are going to have to just start banning the Aurelia. It's just been such a critical pick for them in enabling this sort of playstyle. This is the third game for Piglet on it, and looking like it's going to be 3-0 on the pick, and really performing well with it. Clutch is just very, very flexible in the draft. I think that takes away some of the red side advantage as well that CLG had in selecting that. And they are now closing in. Super is going to be pushing up top, mid, and bot. They are looking to kind of corral CLG into the base and potentially finish up this game.
But wait, one last wolf camp.
I mean, you could also see some big buys coming through. They have double GA, you know, GA on your Jarvan, GA on that Aurelia as well. Those are critical team fight items that allow you to play that much more aggressively for that final fight. To dive in with reckless abandon, to try to sacrifice yourself to take down an Ashe, which could end the game.
Moon almost going in. I was going to say, you're now bringing to the table what Darshan and Moon have in their passives this late into the game, so they're even stronger now. They have been winning since the first minute. 10-3, 30 minutes on the clock. Clutch is just waiting for that final moment to do the last bit of work, I guess I should say, the minions aren't doing. That first Nexus turret almost down. And yeah, there's a small ward out here that they can see what Clutch is deciding, what Clutch is doing, and it might be a dive in. They almost have Power Beeble. He gets the flash, though, to safety. Biofrost knocked to the back as they have Darshan on the front line. They should be able to take him down. Huni and Demonte focusing on Auto, and he goes down quick. Now the Cataclysm from Lyra coming in onto Biofrost, and he goes down as Moon to the fountain. Waves are being made by Clutch right now as they take down the first Nexus turret. They are going to find the victory against CLG. And Clutch Gaming take the win over Counterlogic Gaming.
Very well played here by Clutch. An explosive finish to a very dominating game. These guys look so much better when they are playing their picks, when they are playing this sort of style. It feels like they are unlocked to make the sort of aggressive plays that they wanted to do. And you have to give a lot of credit to Vulcan. Was so good in shutting down the engages that CLG was trying to pull off. Because to CLG's credit, it's not as though they just sat back and didn't even attempt. They tried to fight at the inhibitor, but Vulcan is rejecting Moon's engages, disengaging a lot of these opportunities. And honestly, this Alistar was very impressive to me.
If we can recall, from week 5 when they played GGS, we saw that Alistar when he was kind of faking out Ole. They'd miss the hits and boom, right in. That was kind of when I was like, all right, this Vulcan Alistar is something else. And the team plays around it. And it's like you said, when they get the Aurelia down there, a huge pickup that allows the map to be a little bit more free and the team to work together.
I mean, it just looks like a totally different player when Piglet is on the Aurelia versus when he is on some of these marksman picks. You know, he looks much more confident. He is making plays for himself. He sees an opportunity and he doesn't have to wait for someone else to be on the same page with him because he can go for that. He can make the game-changing play, and that's the sort of style that a lot of these guys want to play. And they're all able to kind of do it because they can all dive. They can all get 1v1 kills. They can all, you know, pressure their lanes. And this was just a really well-played game here for Clutch.
And I feel like it kind of goes back to what Clutch started with, and I hope teams don't not find them out, but see what they're doing as quick, because we're always fighting. They had the Rumble, they kept going in with Camille, and then teams were like, oh, they want to fight all the time, we'll just stop. So it is hard. It is easy to just say we don't want to do that. So hopefully Clutch can come up with a little bit more. That was fun to watch. Let's send it down to Avli for an interview with Clutch's Flame Spitter in the top lane.
Thanks, guys. Hooney, congratulations on the win. You played phenomenally on that Rumble today, and we're starting to see the old Hooney that we know and love. So what did you think about that game?
Yeah, I mean, if I get the Rumble, it's like, I used to get like permaban on Rumble, get this like sniping ban. It was like recently right now, it's like I've not been playing like Rumble, so people's like kind of disrespect or not like unexpectable, like randomly picking Rumble. So, I mean, I've played more than 10,000 games on the Rumble, so what's new?
What's new? You're the Rumble Pro. But kind of stepping outside this game, I kind of want to point to you. With the rough streak that Clutch has been having and kind of looking at you, we've seen you seem pretty disappointed after the losses. So what's been troubling you?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, there was a lot like problem from like earlier though, let's play like we had a lot problem between our teammates and just like coaching staff and between like players. It's like having communication issues, and even each other for players, there's a lot of communication issues. And we're playing like really bad on stage especially, and playing really good on the screen. So like as long as we get more experienced and on the stage and then we just play like a scream as we practice it, I think I'm not really scared about it. And it'll be really great. Like I can't wait to see like more like for forwards, just like playing versus like TSM or like C9 and Team Liquid.
Well, I'm looking forward to those games too. Hooney, thank you and congratulations again. And to wrap up the day, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. Clutch Gaming come away with the victory in this one over CLG. And what I want to take a look at is the draft, because Kobe was talking about it right before the game started. Non-marksman bot lanes. Clutch Gaming is one of the teams that's been quite willing to do it here in the LCS, and they reach back into that pocket with the Aurelia bot lane once again. And it pays off for them.
It was kind of served up to them on a silver platter, though, because CLG, early rotation their bot lane, and it's Ashe, it's in the mobile champion. Ezreal was up, and so they could have gone for a safer choice, but they wanted more engage options. But that kind of started a kind of snowball effect where it just played more and more into Clutch's style of wanting a lot of engage and all-in champs against the mobile backlines.
Man, I think you can really tell that this is what Clutch enjoys to play, because when they play a normal style, they don't really look too stoked about it. But when they're doing this, like, yes, this is everybody gets to go in. And I think it really is clicking with Piglet, where he can participate a lot more, be really upfront, and create plays for himself. And the fact that CLG seemed to not even address that fact, they're just like, you guys do you. Like, I don't know about that one. Like, you want to kind of put a roadblock in that.
I have to wonder if Otto is just picking Ezreal because he's a rookie on the stage, or Ashe rather, is picking Ashe because like he's nervous to play on stage, or like his coach is like, here, just play something safe. But like out of all the teams to pick Ashe into, you probably shouldn't pick it to the person that likes to play Aurelia bot.
Especially not early, and then it got compounded later where it's like, okay, they pick Lissandra, well, we pick Syndra, a good matchup. And then they took Zach, and at that point, it's like you now have no one you want to kidnap into your team. You now have to play this champion who goes in against an Alistar who's pretty hard to go on, and it felt like there was a lot of like comp-wise self-counter out of CLG's draft.
I think it makes sense if you're thinking we were struggling with engage before we made our subs. Like, we never engaged. So now we go with Zach and we go with Ashe with our two guys. We're going to do the same thing before, but you failed to adapt to the new team that you're playing against, and so it just looks bad. This would be great last week, right? This would be like, yeah, CLG, this is what we want to see. But now, like, okay, did you do your homework?
Right, because we were looking at the makeup of team fights and kind of asking ourselves, okay, in what scenario, what has to happen for CLG to win one of these team fights? And it almost felt like they had no options because, sure, Ashe can pump out damage if she's left alone to pump out damage, but you have 5 different threats, essentially, on the side of Clutch Gaming. Okay, that means Syndra's the most important person on the CLG side, and she would just get zeroed out at the beginning of every single fight.
Right. I really like this Rumble Jarvan synergy. I've had a lot of experience playing with Rumble, you know, so like when people are picking these immobile AD carries and mid laners, Rumble's a really strong champion, and I hope more top laners pick him up.
I would have liked to see a Kindred out of CLG to counter this, but we're going to take a look at one of these mid-game fights where you can really see just how strong Clutch is. Already their Alistar goes down, and they bait CLG into the 5v5. Darshan flashes in, but Piglet has the ultimate to combo, and it kind of looks good, but Rumble is there to just burn everyone.
I mean, look at Otto. He just gets no damage out in that fight because Tom Kench has to run him away. The Rumble ult comes on top. The only thing he provides is a volley and an arrow.
That's not a lot.
Not a lot.
No, definitely not the case. And they wanted to feel like have this like diving backline. The Aatrox's supposed to work with that as well, but you picked it into the Rumble, who, like Hai is saying, is a great champion for melee matchups and is really good against the mobile backlines. So it's like, I don't know how they win that game. They only have 1 point of pressure around mid, which is really the only thing they could go, but they had a weaker jungler matchup, so they couldn't even go aggressive early on, and it just felt like one of those games where you're left scratching your head going, something went wrong in pick ban.
All right, so let's talk about Clutch Gaming then, because I think signs of life here, right?
I'm happy. I have stock in them.
Exactly.
5 whole stock.
Very, very happy you're following Kobe's trend of the 12 from the previous bye week. But I do want to talk about this squad because, all right, they've found a little bit of an identity, and you hear Avali talking to Huni on stage, the Cassiopeias, the Rumbles, a lot of these more damage-heavy, somewhat carry-oriented picks for him in the top lane have been bringing them some success. My question is this sustainable? Because we just talked about how CLG should have recognized the team they were playing against and guarded themselves either against that strategy or attacked that strategy a little bit more. Can these other top-tier teams take advantage of Clutch and this somewhat narrow yet focused strategy?
I think it is sustainable for now because a lot of teams don't have practice against it since it seems like Clutch really is the only ones honing in on it. But if you can expand your style to have more than the Aurelia in the bottom lane, you can do a lot more. It's going to be really difficult for teams to be ready for what you're going to do because they're always going to be trying to expect that. They might even spend bans on that, which should free you up to go back to the more natural style if you wanted to go that way.
And we did say, I think a week or two ago, that they're a bit of a dark horse for the playoffs.
Right.
I think if they can sneak in, they would be a bit of a nightmare matchup for a lot of teams early on because they do have this own unique style, and you have to prepare for all these mages in the top lane. Rumble, technically a mage, I would say. And then their bot lane's playing these non-standard bot lanes. So it would be a really tough matchup to prepare for, as well as the fact that they're so volatile that like you could easily lose a game or two in a series.
Think of yourself as Otto, right? You're out there, you're scrimming with your team. You're like, okay, I play against Ezreal, I play against Kalista. I know what the matchups are, and then you go, okay, Aurelia, Alistar, Jarvan. It's like, I have not played against this before, and now I'm against the LCS doing this. Like, what do? I don't have experience here.
Yeah, very much so. It's hard to fault a guy who hasn't had that amount of time on stage and against a strategy that most of the long-standing LCS players themselves have yet to play against. And so with only 2 weeks left in the regular season, these last few pushes in the standings could mean the difference between making playoffs or not. Cloud9 have locked their spot in the postseason. FlyQuest separated themselves into 4th at 7-7, while the top 3 extended their separation from the bottom pack, and the clump continued its usual swaps. Let's see how your predictions fared, though, here today. The only difference was in that 5th game of the day, so Crumbs, unfortunately, fall just short at 4-5 here with that CLG pick. Mark, you're just keeping pace then, though, because unfortunately there were no differences between you and I. But today felt like a pretty lopsided day, at least in terms of expectation.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty hard to call an upset today with how these matchups were. The last one was close, and I think you could see even StatsBot got it wrong. I would love to see StatsBot's totals because we were hyping it up at the beginning of the split.
I think they're still winning, so don't show it yet.
I was going to say, it's a nebulous, it's beating you.
Wait till that's not true, and then let me bring this up again.
All right, fair enough. Okay. I'll keep my eyes on that. The standings may have shifted, but one thing hasn't changed. You took to Twitter to call out this week's LCS big plays. First up, Sergio Huerta freaked out over the game-turning Baron steal from Acadian. Take a look.
All those tools are available. Can they somehow bait Acadian out? Can they kill him or can they rush the Baron? And 100 Thieves, are they willing to risk it? They're going to try Acadian! He does indeed get it!
1.8k if they put it lower at all. I'm W in 2 seconds. I'm W in 2 seconds. I'm W in. I can W in. Okay, are you ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, I'm going in. Go. Go. Nice! Back. Nice, man, nice. I might be able to get out. Yeah, come here. Flash.
Nice. See, they made the call how I expected. 3, 2, 1, go. Makes sense. Everyone's on the dot.
It was the opposite of the C9 one, which was just like, go.
And it worked. Yeah, this time around, a little bit more prep and planning for that one. Next up, True Blue Lou got a little excited when Wild Turtle went full late game on Jinx.
Down to the bot lane side. Vulcan tries to make the play. JJ is going to be taken very low. Piglet trying to get the return kill. Barely secures it with the Acathian Rain, but one more shot from Wild Turtle. However, Echo Fox do not have the tools to fight back. The Stace is going to keep Pobelter alive. Wild Turtle's going to keep on popping off.
Turtle just absolutely taking over this game on the Jinx.
Got to look at those first 2 kills, which started the snowball towards that.
He's late game already.
Yeah, I was like, what does he have for items?
I mean, when you get a double kill in the bot lane as like a late game scaling ADC at 8 minutes, you feel like you're going to be late game no matter what, right?
And to be fair to Turtle, it is a non-standard bot lane a little bit in the sense where no one else is playing Jinx in North America, and he's making it look good this weekend.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see more Callista. Hit the ban table a couple times. We got 1 play, but I know Crumbs, I'm looking at you. We love that engagement.
I don't want to see more Callista.
Why not?
We have a 56% win rate of early advantage pre-15, right? And Callista is an early game champion.
So if you get the advantage, you're going to lose.
Yeah,
and that's not what we want here in
I say roll into it. Just try to lower it more. See what happens.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna need you rather to keep sending in those tweets so we can catch your favorite LCS moments from the week. Now, though, it's time for us to send it over to Freak for the LCS Cooldown.